Right, I'm good. Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Football Chat Live. The Champions League is back this evening. We're bringing you coverage of the opening game, or I should say I am bringing you coverage. Harry is not here this evening. He's skiving on us, but we plough on and we're here for the Champions League. It's Newcastle versus AC Milan. What should be a fantastic clash at the San Siro. And of course, Champions League football is back. We all love a bit of the Champions League. Hopefully, we get to a very good game in Milan tonight. So yeah, I'm buzzing for it. I'm sure you guys at home are buzzing for it as well. It's going to be a real good game. There's a reason that we're on for this one rather than for one of the ones later. It's going to be a good game. Newcastle back in the Champions League for the first time in a very long time. And both these sides in that group of death with Dortmund and PSG. So a lot at stake, a lot to be seen over the next 90 minutes. Going to be a really exciting one. Nick Nack, welcome to the stream. As Harry's in chat as well, so he is in chat for the first half. Then he, I imagine, won't be for much longer after that. But yeah, should we start then with the lineups, I think? That's how we tend to start. Harry joining us later? No, Nick Nack. If it's for the 8 o'clock ones, he tends to join later. This one, he's actually here right now, but he'd have to leave before like halfway through the first half, so he's not joining for us at all tonight. So you've just got me. I hope that's not a problem. But yeah, we'll get to the lineups then. So, of course, we are at the San Siro, as I've mentioned. AC Milan, the home side today. They line up in a 4-3-3. Stefano Pioli's 4-3-3. Quite successful over the last few years, I must say. Mike Mainan in goal, the victim, not the victim, a person with a lot of speculation around him during the summer, but he didn't end up going anywhere. Back four then of Captain Calabria, Tior, Tomori and Hernandez, a strong defence. Midfield three of Loftus-Cheek, Krunic and Pobega. Of course, a notable omission from that is Tonali because he's playing for the opposition. The front three then, Samuel Chukwueze, new signing for Villarreal, a very exciting player. Rafael Leao on the other side and Olivier Giroud leading the line. No Pulisic then to start Milan's first Champions League game, an interesting one. In fact, he is on the bench, so he could get involved tonight, alongside the likes of new signing Noah Okafor and Luka Jovic. So they've got a strong team, Milan. Can they beat Newcastle? That remains to be seen. Looking at the travelling tune then, in between the sticks, Nick Pope, very reliable unless you're playing against Liverpool and the ball goes over the top. Flat back four of Captain Kieran Trippier, Shah, Botman and Dan Burn. Across midfield three, it's Longstaff, Bruno Guimaraes and Sandro Tonali. Then on the right, Jacob Murphy makes his Champions League debut, much like most players in this Newcastle side. Anthony Gordon on the other flank and Alex Isak through the middle. There's been loads of intriguing storylines coming into this one. Newcastle back in the Champions League, of course. The most notable, though, I've seen a lot of people talking about is Jacob Murphy starting tonight. A massive moment for him. I don't think he'd ever expected to be playing in the Champions League. So yeah, I mean, huge shout out to him. I hope he has a good game today. I'm sure he'll enjoy it regardless of the score. But yeah, Daz saying, what's your prediction for this one? We'll get into that in about 5 minutes' time, Daz. Don't want to jump the gun too quickly. So we'll wait a couple minutes. Nick Nack saying, if Newcastle get anything from this game, it'll be a great result for them. Yeah, I agree there. I think Milan away, that's a very tough fixture, but also a great occasion. Like, you're going to the San Siro to witness the AC Milan atmosphere in a game where if you lose, people will go, fair enough, you're playing against Milan away, it's your first Champions League game, you lost. But if you win, what a massive moment that could be for Newcastle fans. And well, that's a big 3 points in a group of death. You want all the points you can get, really. Now saying plenty of pace up front, but will Newcastle be able to hold the ball up? Does saying no Wilson or on the bench. So no Wilson starting or on the bench. Interesting that. That does leave them a little bit light then in terms of sub options. I know they've got Harvey Barnes though, of course, but he only plays off the left. So yeah, it does leave them a little bit short if Isak was to go down injured. Chelsea fan onto the stream as well, but yeah, that is very intriguing though about Callum Wilson, because just looking, I know he is on the bench. Yeah, he is on the bench there. So unless he's picked up a knock since being named on the bench, he is on the bench for tonight. So we could see Callum Wilson get on and make his Champions League debut. Of course, Almer on bench for this one. Could see him get involved at some point. And then a load of other options like Lewis Hall, Elliot Anderson, the likes to get involved in the middle if they need him. So two teams, very strong on the pitch, also very evenly matched on the bench. So it's going to be a fascinating encounter. It definitely won't be over if one of the sides is leading by half time, because there's a lot of change that can happen clearly from the bench. So yeah, going to be hopefully a cracking match and a great start to the 23-24 Champions League campaign. I just found asking, did anyone hear about a Newcastle fan getting attacked? I did see that. Of course, we don't condone violence in football. I heard it was 8 Milan fans attacked him, which I've just so bizarre that you would think that's a very good thing to do. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he's all right. And I believe he's recovering in hospital and expected to be discharged before the game. So he may well still get to go and watch the match. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he is all right. But yeah, let's not let that mar the occasion. It's going to be a real good one tonight. The atmosphere will be electric inside the San Siro. Milan, of course, let's not doubt their pedigree. Champions League semi-finalists of last campaign. They also came second in the Serie A, third, something like that, in the Serie A. They're a strong team. They've got a lot of talent. They've just signed the likes of Samuel Chukwueze, Christian Pulisic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So they've got a lot of new additions, and they're already building on a very strong squad. The likes of Rafael Leao are players that could be moving for upwards of £100 million in the not too distant future. They've just lost Tonali. Whether they've replaced him adequately with Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I'm not too sure, but I do think the midfield is quite balanced for AC Milan tonight. I think Pobega gives you that defensive side of Tonali's game. I think Krunic gives you the tackling, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek gives you the attacking side. So with the three of them, you may well be able to replace Tonali, but yeah, it's going to be a tough job in there, of course. Newcastle's midfield looking really strong. Going to be a very interesting game tonight. I think that's saying it signed a couple Chelsea flops, you mean? Well, they flopped out Chelsea, but I still think they're good players. I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek is an incredible player. Great carry of the ball. Very good finisher as well. We've seen him throughout the years be able to score if you get him in the right sort of areas. So I think while he didn't do great for Chelsea, he could definitely be good for Milan. And there's a similar sort of story with Christian Pulisic. We saw just how good he was at Borussia Dortmund. There's a reason Chelsea went and spent £50 million on him. So I think both of those could be huge for Milan. Gary Bison, welcome to the stream. Hello. Welcome, Gary. Glad you could join us for this Champions League game, this early kickoff in the Champions League. I don't usually stream the early kickoff because it's usually like Man United Young Boys, I think it was last year. So yeah, it's not really the preferred fixture usually, but this time it is the more interesting game. We did look at Dortmund and versus PSG as well, but I think this one's going to be better. Personally, I think this game's going to be more feisty. I think it's going to be more intense. I think PSG will probably have the measure of Borussia Dortmund. So, yeah, I expect this should be the more interesting game. We'll get into predictions in just a moment. Then Nick saying 4 ex-Chelsea players in the team if you include Tomori and Giroud. Well, they are ex-Chelsea players, so I would include them, yeah. But, I mean, yeah, they've signed good players from Chelsea. If Tomori was still at Chelsea, he would be involved today. The same with Giroud wouldn't be in the Chelsea team, but he'd definitely be a good option off the bench, which we've missed this season. Then you've got, Pulisic probably wouldn't get involved because he wasn't last season, same for Loftus-Cheek, but there's still good players that could have been involved at Chelsea. And, there's certainly players still at Chelsea who are worse. Gary's saying, early kickoff is much better for me time-wise. Looking forward to see the Geordies back in Europe. I'm glad it's convenient as well for you, Gary. That's why they moved it earlier, I'm sure. But yeah. Big night for the Toon. You're right there, Harry. It should be a great night. Shall we get into some predictions then? Chat, feel free to get involved. Flood the live chat with your predictions. And of course, if you haven't voted in the poll already, make sure to do that. Just a quick glance at the poll then. 57% of you have gone Newcastle, 29% looking for an AC, thinking it'll be an AC Milan win, and 14% going for a draw. So vote in that if you haven't already. In terms of my prediction then, I really don't know. I really don't know. I've been stalling. I've been trying to think of something in my head while we've been sat here chatting. I really don't know how this game's going to go. I feel like it's very much on a knife edge. Really could go either way. In terms of prediction, I think I'm going to go for a Milan win. I know that's going to upset a few people who are all going for Newcastle. It's their first time back in the Champions League. I just think home advantage and a slightly stronger squad. I think Milan will come away with a victory tonight. I'm going to go 2-1 Milan. I do think Newcastle will get their first Champions League goal. I actually think they'll open the scoring. You mean I just said Milan will win? Then I remember the fact they lost 5-1 at the weekend. Really torn here. I'll stick with it. 2-1 Milan. Who knows? Newcastle open the scoring. Alexander Isak, and then a goal from Olivier Giroud. and a goal from No, I was going to say Ishmael Benacer, but I think he's injured. I will say, I want to go for a bench player, Pulisic. Bit boring, but I think Pulisic will get the second. Guys saying I voted draw. Fair enough. I definitely could see a draw tonight. Definitely could. Both sides will be keen to take away something from tonight, even if that is only 1 point. So a draw does make sense in that regard. And Nick Nat going 2-1 Milan. But I hope I'm wrong. Okay, fair enough. Harry's saying 2-0 Milan. A lot of people back in Milan then. That does surprise me because they did get battered quite heavily at the weekend. But Newcastle have equally not been great to start this campaign. So I guess that balances out really, doesn't it? But should be a really exciting one tonight. Hopefully we get a lot of action. Hopefully we get a lot of goals. And yeah, hopefully it's a good game to watch. But I'm excited. Love to see the Champions League. Love Champions League nights. It's great to have UCL back. And of course, throughout the season, we will be covering all the Champions League nights. We will be doing some, we'll be missing some Champions League nights to Europa League and stuff like that. But mainly, we'll always be live on Wednesday, and then the Tuesday and Thursday slot will rotate occasionally. So just keep an eye out for the schedule. But this week, we are live tonight. We're live tomorrow for Bayern Man United. The Champions League is back. I'm absolutely pumped for it. Players making their way out of the tunnel now as we get ready to start here at the San Siro. Lovely Champions League ball as well, it must be said. I'm waiting for a good game tonight. Really am. I'm excited for the Champions League return. Hoping to see a cracker. And I love the tunnel at the San Siro. They split out either side. Newcastle on the left. AC Milan on the right. Milan points to the sky. Should be a good one. Nick Nack's saying, still not convinced by Gordon myself, but how clearly likes it. I wasn't last season. I've never been a big fan of Anthony Gordon, really, but he has really excited me so far this season. I think he is very explosive in possession. He seems to have worked on his crossing game, and I think that's changed a lot. That's changed a lot of my opinion about him. I think he looks a much more exciting player. There's a clear directness to his play now. The goal he scored against Liverpool demonstrated that clearly. He drove at goal when he won the ball back and finished it well. I think if he can start to do that more regularly, if he can actually start to create chances, he'll do well. But I think every time I've watched him so far this season, especially in the opener against Villa, he's looked very, very exciting. Gary's saying, if anyone suggested a year ago that Jacob Murphy would be in a Champions League starting team, would have been laughed out of the room. You're 100% spot on there. I think it's a great moment for Murphy. I do question, though, whether this just exposes the fact that Newcastle's depth isn't very strong. Because Almiron's out the side and in comes Jacob Murphy. And while he has been a good player, there's definitely better out there. And Newcastle, working with the infinite resources they are now, could surely go and find someone better. But yeah, big props to Jacob Murphy. I hope he has a good game tonight. And yeah, can't trust people with two first names. What, Jacob Murphy? Yeah, fair enough. Oh, I'm on board with that. But yeah. Are you doing Arsenal vs Tottenham game on Sunday? Yes, we are. Chelsea fans. Should be a good one, that. Live at the same time that Chelsea Villa is, so we'll be keeping tabs on that game as well. Jose Maria Sanchez of Spain as our referee tonight. And hopefully the officials can have a good game and keep the game flowing and give us a cracker here. And yeah, both sets of players will take their photos, the pre-match photos and all the other pre-match rituals and routines they have to do, and then we'll get underway. Murphy at the San Siro, you love to see it. You do indeed. And yeah, Newcastle, I think they'll be... I'm hoping they don't come out nervous. I think they'll be excited, though. They're in the Champions League for the first time in a while. A lot of these players have never played Champions League football before, but I think they'll be cool and calm about it. It's a big moment, but I think Eddie Howden playing down the occasion and just telling his lads to have fun with it tonight, because that's what they need to do. They need to not think of this as, oh, it's the Champions League, oh, we're at the San Siro. They need to look at it as, we're in the Champions League, we should be enjoying ourselves this evening. But yeah, we are about to get underway here tonight. Tonali lining up in the middle of the park, of course, for Newcastle. It's going to be a difficult match for him. Obviously, making that move from his boyhood club AC Milan to Newcastle in the summer, it's going to be difficult for him. We know his love for Milan, and now he's got to play against his former side. But yeah. Anyway, the referee about to get us underway. I know we're taking a moment's silence. Apologies. I was too excited to get this going. We're not even getting going yet. We've got a minute's silence first. But yeah, a very well, what's the right word to use here? We do need the minute's silence. That's what I'm trying to say. It's an important minute silence. There we go. Of course, just paying respects to all the victims of the Morocco and Libya disasters, I think is how you refer to them. The floods and the hurricanes have been affecting those areas. And yeah, nice to see a moment's silence for everyone there. But yeah, don't Liverpool play same time on Sunday, 2 p.m? I believe they do, Daz. I think there's a lot of games on Sunday because obviously games have been moved for European coverage. So yeah, because the European games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So all of their fixtures, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Arsenal, and City, I think, are all on the Sunday. But yeah, we're about to get underway here in the San Siro. AC Milan Ultras sporting their black tops tonight with various different emblems representing their side. Mainan rubbing his gloves together. I don't know whether he's rubbing them in glee or just preparing to get peppered with shots, but it's going to be interesting either way. But yeah, should be a good one, this. Referees signalling over to the goalkeeper to make sure he's ready to start. Signalling over to Mainan to make sure he's ready to start. And then once he blows his whistle, we'll get started in the Champions League group stage. I think that's Sean Longstaff to knock it back. There's the type of moment you love to see. Referee blows his whistle, points to his watch, and we're underway. Longstaff knocks it back to Shah. The 23-24 Champions League campaign has started, and Newcastle are starting it fast. Isak, Gordon, cut out by Krunic. Newcastle recover the ball though. Now Longstaff, but that's cut out. His wide ball to Murphy. It's a bit messy, but Newcastle in possession. Trippier passes it inside. Pulled back, though, for an earlier handball. And now AC Milan can just slow it down. A fast starting 20 seconds there. And now they'll take their time from this free kick. Hernandez. Krunic. I think it's very important for Newcastle to get on the ball early, start to strut their stuff, and really forget about the occasion tonight. I think an early goal as well would be helpful. Just take the weight off their shoulders. But it's AC Milan coming forwards. Loftus-Cheek trying to drive the ball forward, but he's clipped. And that's a free kick for Milan. What's your prediction for City tonight, asked Daz. About 8-0. Red Star Belgrade, or as they are also known, Crvena Zvezda. It's going to be an easy game, you'd think, for City. Should be a comfortable scoreline. Of course, we do have Leipzig underway at the same time. I've also got to the scoreboard. I've just realised. Apologies for that. We've also got Leipzig underway at the same time tonight. They face Young Boys, and that should be a good match. We will keep up tabs with everything that's going on in that game as well. I just need to make sure the scoreboard's timed correctly now. Rookie error, really, has to be said. But yeah. Right. Still behind. I just have to wait. But yeah, it should be a good game tonight. Of course, loads of other Champions League action as well. Loads of other games in the UCL. Great to have it back. Just off there. That'll be alright. Couple of seconds off. But yeah. Tomorrow now. Knocks it back to Mainan. Also watching the versus thing. Sorry guys, I've not streamed by myself in a while. Completely forgotten everything I've got to do, but yeah, there we go. Graphics are now good. They're fine. Goal for Leipzig already, says Gary. Really? Yes, there is. Mohamed Simakan scoring in that game. I think I've got him in the UEFA Fantasy, so that is what you'd love to see. But you'd imagine that is from a corner then. Doesn't say, but the goalkeeper's also had a mare. It's a header, so you would presume so. Fast start then for Leipzig in that game against Young Boys. They'll be keen to get some early points on the board in that group. But yeah, thank you for the update, Gary. And yeah, big FPL, what's it called? UCL Fantasy points already there. Be a 4-0 minimum for City, I reckon, says Nick Knack. 10-0 says Chelsea fan, yeah. I could definitely see a 10-0. I don't think it will be. I think it will be a little lower than that, but I could see a 10-0. Krunic knocks it back now to Malik Tior. Here is Chukwueze. And he's looking to run at them now. Samuel Chukwueze knocks it into Krunic. Krunic switching the play. Hernandez takes it in his stride. Now Leao. And he's looking to hit one, Rafael Leao. And it's a good, easy claim in the end for Pope. But already showing their attacking intent. Didn't even realise also that Rafael Leao plays with ref for Liao on the back of his shirt. Presumably just played with Liao, but yeah, an interesting observation. But yeah, Botman. Now it's with Byrne. Gordon. Can he turn his man? Calabria gets a good tackle in there, but it's pulled back for a free kick. AC Milan protest it. Referee having none of it, though. That seemed a little harsh. I think, yeah, no, Calabria won the ball there. Don't really know what the ref seen. But, yeah, Shah now in possession. Trying to carry the ball forwards. Trippier goes back to Nick Pope. Leipzig flying at the moment. They are indeed, Harry. They are indeed. Would be unbeaten in the league if it wasn't for the equally flying, or well, even better flying, by Leverkusen. Now they drive forwards Newcastle. Murphy sprays it out wide. Trippier, one of the only Champions League experienced players in this Newcastle team. Isak, he's brought it under control well. Shifts it out wide. Anthony Gordon now has options in support. Has to go back across to Trippier. This is good for Newcastle though. Ball into a dangerous area. Headed away by Tomori. And that's not dealt with well by Pobega, and that's out for a Newcastle throw on the near side. But Newcastle already looking really quick. Quick to start in this game. And now Trippier preparing to take the throw. Goes to Murphy, back to Trippier. Now it's with Shah. What can he do? Lifts the ball forwards, looking for Anthony Gordon in the wide area. Gordon touch escapes him and Calabria fouls him. Play continues though. Here's Sandro Tonali driving forwards and he's run off the end of the pitch. And that will be a goal kick for Milan. But yeah, Tonali there, his first real touch on the ball, it has to be said. That looked a little harsh actually. It looked like that may well have stayed on. It's a tight one. Similar to the United one at the weekend. Very tight one. But I think he probably made the right call there. But yeah, Tomori. Now Mainan, under a lot of pressure here, Milan. Tomori's done well. And just about sees off Murphy and wins another goal kick. And yeah. I think they're going to have a tough job on their hands tonight, Milan. They've got a good Newcastle attack to come up against. The likes of Alex Isak, obviously, leading the line. Probably the most prominent danger. I'm hoping, by the way, that I don't know if anyone else is experiencing the same issue, but BT's camera keeps going all over the place on my coverage, so hopefully they sort it out. Or as I should say, TNT. But yeah, Rafael Leao now picks up the ball, looking to drive forward. Brought down by Longstaff. That's really smart from Rafael Leao. Quick feet, catching out Sean Longstaff, and he draws the foul. David Raum getting the assist as well in that Leipzig game. Annoying, I thought he'd be out for the match, so I transferred him out on UCL Fantasy. Equally, though, did transfer him out for Mohamed Simakan, so not too annoyed there. But yeah, so 1-0 in that game. Really should have put that on the scoreboard tonight. I think when I made the scoreboard, I completely forgot that there was going to be another kickoff. But yeah, should be. We will do that for next week. I think I've already done the ones for tomorrow and stuff, so won't amend them. But yeah, Milan now in possession. Mainan lifts it out wide. Calabria, he controls it well and now puts it over the top. That's ambitious, expecting Olivier Giroud to get anywhere near that one, though. Shah. Either in the crowd, has he retired now? I believe so, yeah. I believe he retired at the end of last season, didn't he? Equally has retired like 8 times. Gary's saying, why do you keep bringing up your nan? Because she's in goal, Gary. But yeah. My nan's like a blinder so far, to be fair. She's not conceded in 8 minutes of professional football. And out she is again there, my nan, to claim the ball. Big points for Raul. Yeah, well, I'm happy. My Simakan points have come in. I can't remember who I've got, to be fair. But either way, I've got points. Yeah, I'll double check. But yeah, of course, if you are playing UCL Fantasy this season, get involved in our league. I believe we had 125 people in the league when during kickoff tonight. It was 134 now. So yeah, thanks to everyone that has joined. If you haven't joined already, it's a little bit late. I am fuming at myself as well. I took out Raum. I thought he'd be injured. I thought I brought in Simakan. Turns out I brought in Benjamin Heinrichs. So that's good. Love that. But yeah, Three Leipzig assets. Hopefully they do well for me. But yes, I don't have Simichan. That is gutting. But yeah. Anyway, don't know what this has been pulled back for. I think, yeah, Chukwueze in an offside position. And a very, very tight one, but it has been given the right way there, in my opinion. But yeah, Eddie Howe, his first taste of Champions League management tonight. I'm sure he'd have been looking at himself in the mirror, thinking he's the shit today, but yeah. He'll be hoping that when he looks at himself in the mirror tonight, it's not a look of regret and instead a look of jubilation on his face. Pope here with the free kick. Already 10 minutes gone in this opening match of the Champions League. And his ball long is kept in by Byrne. And then Gordon loses out to Calabria. To Tior, but that will be a throw-in. Byrne taking his time about this one. Waiting for options to become available. What a goal by Callum last night, says Chelsea fan. Yeah, Hudson-Odoi's strike in that Burnley Forest game, very impressive. Equally, the Zeki Amdouni goal rivaled it, I would say. Both good strikes. And yeah, that game ending 1-0. You do feel that was Burnley's biggest shot to get an early win on the board, but a point's not too bad. Should have kept him, says Nick Nack. Yeah, I saw the David Rao injury and yeah, decided to get rid of him. Turns out he wasn't injured at all. Gordon has absolutely skinned Calabria there for pace. Calabria's done well actually to get back in. Gordon coming forwards and is brought into the box. Very much lacking anything, really. And now driving away at pace is Hernandez and he's brought down by Sean Longstaff. Little tactical foul there. Manages to get away without any cards. Gordon's pretty quick for a guy with two first names. There's a lot of players with two first names, it turns out, involved tonight. But it's better than Mudryk, argues Nick Nack. Right now, probably, but I think Mudryk has more talent. He's just not very confident and not showing it at the moment. But yeah. Milan's right back, better watch out, says Gary. Well, he's not going to keep up with him. That much he knows. It's like David Calabria, don't get me wrong. Great right back. But he's not quick enough to keep up with Anthony Gordon. Tonali. Poor pass that, really. Or maybe that was how he intended it, giving it to a Milan player. Chukwueze now. Driving inside. Pass cut out by Longstaff. He works hard to try and win it back. But Newcastle have possession. Murphy may well look to attack the touchline and he draws the foul from Pobega. Really smart that from Murphy. And yeah, getting brought down by Tommaso Pobega. Daz asks, what matches are you doing this weekend, please? We've got one stream this weekend on the Sunday. We are live for Tottenham versus Arsenal, the North London derby. It's 2 o'clock kickoff. Should be a good one. But yeah. Are you staying on for the 8 o'clock games, Jack? No, I'm not, Nick. Probably could have done, but not really fancying that. We are live, however, tomorrow for the Bayern Man United game. So, and obviously there'll be loads of 8 o'clocks and all that sort of stuff. So we'll probably stay on a little longer after that one to talk about all the Champions League games, all the groups and sort of stuff like that. Because obviously we'd have had a whole rotation by the end of tomorrow's game. Pobega takes aim, and that's a great save from Pope. Already, though, Milan knocking on the door. Leao keeps the move alive to the back post. Chukwueze across goal. It's a good save again from Nick Pope. 2 big saves there for Pope to deny Milan. But Milan peppering the Newcastle goal with shots early on here. And already an attacking intent really being demonstrated. Look at that poll and chat then. 50% of you guys are saying Newcastle will win. 38% thinking Milan will win. And then 12% going for a draw. So yeah, very much split at the moment. And yeah, of course, if you haven't left a like on the stream already, please make sure to do so. YouTube claims we've only had 2 likes so far. So yeah, I mean, there's more people talking in chat than there are that have liked the stream so far. So make sure to leave a like if you haven't already. Loftus-Cheek cuts it back and it's between players and gets cleared away by Shah. But Milan are coming forwards with an element of regularity at the moment. Calabria, ball in. Pobega unmarked, but it's punched away by Pope. Still in the air. Giroud! That's a huge stop from Pope again. But Newcastle are under the cosh a lot at the moment. But yeah. Giroud, it's a very difficult shot, it has to be said. He's sort of falling over and on the side, and he managed to flick it towards goal. A huge save, though, from Pope with his arm. But yeah, very impressive from the Newcastle goalkeeper. Newcastle very much under the cosh at the moment. And as Nick says, Milan piling the pressure on. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. Leao at the back post, keeping the move alive. The corner came in and it was knocked down. Nobody got onto the end of it. Leao then tried to scoop back in the air, but it came to nothing. But yeah, Alex, Arsenal fan, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Of course, Arsenal involved in their first taste of Champions League action tonight, I want to say. Champions League action, obviously, since, I believe it's 6 years since Arsenal have played in the Champions League. So it's been a while. Trippier heads forward. Won by Krunic in the middle. Giroud out jumps the ball. And it's very bit pinballing around the midfield at the moment, and Pabega just lifts it back to Milan all the way in his own penalty box. Future England #1 playing a blinder so far. Bold call, that. Be interested to see whether Pope ever does make England #1. He faces stern competition from the likes of Pickford and I'm thinking of Ramsdale and Johnston. But yeah. What do you think of the game last night? The Forest-Burnley one, I didn't see it. I did see the goals, though. Both goals taken. It's going to be interesting. I think Burnley are going to beat United on Saturday. Is it Saturday, Sunday? Can't remember now. But whenever they play them, I think they're going to win. Genuinely do. I look at the moment at Manchester United and think, they are just crap. If there's any time that Burnley are going to pull off an upset, it's going to be against a crap United team. So I think United are going to, I think Burnley will win this weekend. But yeah. There's a spoiler for Prem Predictions, but go check it out anyway. It'll be a great episode of Prem Predictions, I'm sure. Ball back to Milan there, slightly overhit. Milan having a run around after it, and then he clears it long. Burn heads it into Gordon. Gordon back to Burn, plays it forward to Tonali, who shifts his body well to take it down the line, puts the ball in, and Tamori can't clear it away convincingly, but Chukwueze does well to get it away. Loftus-Cheek can't bring it under his control, and now it's Newcastle's ball. I'd love it if Burnley just beat United. Yeah, fair enough, Nick-Nack. Especially if United get battered tomorrow. Yeah, I think that'd be a great game, regardless. Either United are going to get smashed, or it's going to be a good match. So, yeah, tune in tomorrow. Should be, as I say, should be a good one. Champions League football's back now. Regular streams are very much back. And yeah, you'll have to see it. Not quite as regular as last season. Last season's schedule was insane, obviously, due to the World Cup. But yeah, still going to be back with the regular Champions League and other European competition streams. And of course, the Premier schedule on top of that. But yeah. I see Bayern doing something tomorrow, says Daz. I could very much see Bayern doing something horrendous tomorrow. Like something that borders on a crime. Could be a rout, as Nick-Nack says. Yeah, very much so. But yeah. Just over a quarter of an hour played here then. It's been a good match so far. I think Milan have been the better side. Bouncing back well from that horrendous game against Inter Milan. But yeah, Newcastle really failing to get involved so far this evening. And well, it's going to be interesting to see whether they can actually start to get more involved as the game goes on, or whether this Milan dominance, this Milan pressure will continue. Here is Krunic. And now Tamori. Obviously, both these sides coming into this game off the back of some pretty poor form. Milan, they were doing all right, but then an embarrassing loss to their rivals. And well, Newcastle, they claim to win against Brentford, but it's not been a great start. 6 points from 5 games for them. Krunic takes aim, and that's a big save from Pope. It was straight down his throat, but the power behind it made him parry it over. And he struck it well there, Rada Krunic. Sweet as a nut, and it forced a big save out of Pope. But again, Milan are piling on the pressure now, and Newcastle, I mean, eventually they're going to crack. Like an egg. But yeah, you have to expect the home team to have a go in the first 20 minutes or so. Yeah, I guess so, Nick-Nack. But Newcastle really haven't looked at the races so far. They've offered very little on the attack, and well, if Milan finish more of their chances, they would be leading in this game, it has to be said. Krunic, ball in, headed to that goal, and it's another save from Pope, and it's another corner. Hernandez came flying into that. He drove it low and hard. But Pope was awake to it. He watched it all the way, and he just about managed to push it up and away. But without Pope, Newcastle would be in trouble at the moment. Some dangerous balls going into the box from Milan, yeah, and some dangerous players in the box to receive them. Giroud and the likes. But yeah, ball in, and the header is wide. That's a disappointing end to what's been an exciting few minutes there for Milan. Loftus-Cheek just heading it wide. We're going to get a replay of Pabega's effort from earlier in the half. Then Leao's one, as well, the Leao cross that Chukwueze could have done more with at the back post. And yeah, there's been a lot has happened so far. Then, of course, Loftus-Cheek's header, which could just glance past the post. Leao just about kept it in, but nothing came of it after that. Hernandez. He's done really well to turn there. Pabega then plays it into Leao. Leao trying to take it over Trippier, but can't. Goes back to Hernandez. Now Loftus-Cheek, and Milan once again coming forward with a lot of promise here. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and his strike is just over the bar. But again, Milan, they look dangerous. They keep winning the ball and opening Newcastle up way too easily here. You've got to question maybe whether Loftus-Cheek had better options around him than to try and take the shot on there, but I guess it's good to see that he's got the confidence to have a shot. Gary says, if there was anywhere the Pope would feel at home, it'd be in Italy. Indeed. Well, in the Vatican, I guess, but Italy would probably be a close second. Ball goes long from Pope. Looking for Isak. Isak can't quite get the flick on. Then Hernandez. Not pushing the back there from Giroud. He's claiming it was foul, but nothing given, and Newcastle now in possession. Bruno Guimaraes knocks it out wide. It's played around the corner, and Newcastle in behind. Well, Isak couldn't do a lot with it. Mainan then clearing it away. You got a question though whether AC will regret the chance of their miss so far. And just around making a similar point in chat saying Milan should be 2 or 3 up. Given the quality that Newcastle possess and how they could come back in this game, AC really should have taken advantage of the dominance they've displayed in this match so far. So, yeah, that will worry. That will worry Pioli, I think. But equally, I think the first 20 minutes will very much worry Eddie Howe. Because they've really not looked at the races yet, this Newcastle side. But, yeah, 20 minutes played then. Newcastle will be hoping they can actually get back more into this game then in the next sort of 20 minutes before half-time. Milan will be hoping it keeps up in a similar sort of fashion. They can continue to dominate, but I can't imagine Newcastle will allow that. That would surprise me. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting next 20 either way. How far can Newcastle go? Asks Harry. I mean, I think it'll be very difficult for them to get out of the group, in all honesty. I think this Milan side clearly look quite decent. I think Dortmund are no slouches. While they are sometimes very stupid, I think they are definitely a difficult team to face. And then PSG, I mean, they should be getting through, no questions asked. So it's all about whether they can beat Milan, and this game will go a long way to prove whether they can. And then, obviously, whether they can beat Dortmund. But it's going to be difficult. It's a very difficult group. Newcastle have been handed a tough one, as we expected, really. There wasn't going to be an easy group for them, given the fact they are 4th seed. But, yeah, I think they definitely got the hardest group of the tournament. Whether they can actually get through and progress, it's hard to say. I think if they get knocked down to the Europa League, they've got a very good chance of winning that. But in terms of winning the Champions League, I can't see it. They could definitely, if they get into the round 16, it's all about the draw, really, isn't it? If they draw like Sevilla or someone like that, then it's a lovely draw. If they draw Real Madrid, it's not so nice. So, yeah, it's all about the draw. But I think this Newcastle side's got the quality to get quarterfinals at least. But yeah, home form will be key. You're spot on there, Nick Nack, and Harry and Gary echoing very similar points. But yeah, Gary's talking about the San Siro. Okay, it says, dugouts to San Siro are so far apart compared to Premier League grounds. Yeah. Yeah, they are. I imagine that's to stop managers fighting. Like, no managers are fighting in the Premier League, but I could see Inzaghi and Pioli, you know, having a little rough and tumble. Milan goes along with it. And that is now in the possession of Pope, who just plays it short of Botman, and now Newcastle will look to come forward. No more goals, by the way, as far as I'm aware, in that Leipzig match. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can push on, get a few more, and really put that game to bed. Whether young boys perhaps have a reply to them. Botman, Byrne, options down the line, chooses to go back to Guimaraes instead. Now with Botman. Here is Pope. Shah. Playing it now into Kieran Trippier. And he's driving forwards with the options available ahead of him. Isak turns, now bursting forwards into the space. Plays it into Jacob Murphy. Murphy looking to put the ball into the box, but it's really good defending from Tomori. He's managed to win a goal kick. But yeah, bunch of screaming Geordies. We've already established you'd love that, Harry. But yeah. No attempts on goal yet for Newcastle. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That is a correct statistic, Nick Nack. They've just not really offered a lot going forward so far in the 25 minutes we've had. They really do need to attack, really. They're not going to win a game if they can't have a shot. Can't score a goal. Headed forward from Shah. Flicked on by Murphy. Isak. Longstaff into Gordon. Calabria does really well to get back in there. Longstaff tries to recover the long ball. Falls to Shah. He plays it out wide. Here's Jacob Murphy in a little bit of space. Trippier on the overlap. But he slides it into Longstaff instead. He's never going to get to that, though. Milan sweeping well. But yeah. Newcastle's starting to ask questions, but they're not questions that are very difficult to answer for Milan. They've got to pose some more difficult questions. But yeah. Mick Royton, welcome to the stream. I believe it's your first time here. Welcome to the community. Saying Newcastle United could qualify for the Europa League because Brighton would go through. Yeah. So if obviously if Newcastle finish third in the Champions League, they will go into the Europa League. As you say, Brighton are in there, Liverpool are in there, so it's not the easiest of Europa Leagues, but I definitely could see them winning the Europa League if they do get knocked down there. But yeah. Longstaff. Trippier. Now Longstaff again, and he goes down, but as the ref says, get on with it, lad. That was pathetic. Now Loftus-Cheek. Here is Krunic. Gives it to Hernandez. Pobega. Krunic. Now Rafael Leao. And possession one back by Newcastle as they look to come forwards. Gordon, nice turn. Bruno forced backwards. Then he spins and finds Longstaff. Shah. Trippier. Space to exploit on this right-hand side. Just needs an option down the line. Goes inside to Longstaff instead. Now Tonali. Murphy. This is lovely football from Newcastle. Back to Longstaff. They do need to be a little bit more direct with their intent. And well, a bit too direct there as they pump the ball over the top and it goes out for a goal kick. Rest No Mug says, Nick Nack, yeah, I think that's necessary tonight because AC Milan are aggressive at times, but Newcastle are also going to go down quite soft at times. So need a ref that's going to be assertive, going to not really stand for any bollocks, lets the game run, but also pulls it back if something's bad, too bad. Doesn't lose control. But yeah, Gary says Newcastle just can't create anything. Exactly that. At the moment, Murphy isn't really getting into the game. Gordon's being marked tightly by Calabria. And Newcastle free kick now deep in their own half. Giroud forcing over Trippier there. Oh, he tripped himself up after Giroud pulls him back. But he has won a free kick, just about, so he'll be happy with that. But yeah, in terms of this first half, how Newcastle can change it, I'm not going to expect to see any personnel changes just yet. They need to encourage Murphy and Gordon, actually, to get a little wider and encourage their midfield to push up a little bit more and just give that overload. Because at the moment, while Longstaff and Tardy are taking up some high positions, one, the decision making has not been great in the final third. And two, they're not really pushing high enough up. They're not getting forward with enough pace or enough urgency, really. Botman, Isak has to run around the referee, tries to take a player on. Gordon fighting with Calabria, and he's drawn a free kick. Again, referee, a little bit soft, has to be said. But Calabria does run the risk, considering he likes to get stuck in with his tackles. A few of them so far just a little bit over the edge in the eyes of the referee. I think he's a little bit soft in that regard, but yeah. As he just steps forward and steps into the player to get the ball. I don't think he necessarily did anything wrong there. Football is a contact sport at the end of the day. Newcastle now with a free kick. I mean, this is definitely an opportunity to make something happen. It'll be against the run of play, but I don't think they'll mind. If Trippier can just pick out the right head in the box here. And this could be a goal. Instead, he's gone over to Tonali. He dinks one forward, but it's a bit shit, and that's been headed away. Milan to score whilst you're on top. Whilst they're on top. Yeah, you're right there, Harry. You know, saying Gordon was a bit clever there. Definitely managed to make his body quite limp on the floor and win a free kick. I need to slot some teasing balls in the box and make my nan uncomfortable. They need to tease my nan with their balls, basically. Massively on board with that. Shah. But yeah, Giroud so far, he's struggled a bit. It feels like he's very isolated up there. The ball goes long a lot when Milan go forward, and he's not won it an awful lot. He's up against very physical defenders in Shah and Botman. They are giving him a difficult time of it so far. Murphy plays it out wide. Trippier. Inside to Longstaff. This is a good area down in the box, and the referee rightfully waves that away. There's definitely a call to be made here, but I think the ref has made the right one. And they're bursting forwards now on the break, AC Milan. Leao, play down the line. Hernandez, if he can keep this in, is in a very good position. He does. Teo Hernandez driving forward. Ball in Giroud, and it's into the side netting. Encouraging though for Milan on the counter, but yeah, I feel like they've got a score there. Hernandez burst down this side. Shaw was completely caught out. He puts the ball in and Giroud fires into the side netting. By the way, in the Young Boys Leipzig game, it's now 1 apiece. Meshak Elia with the goal there to change the game. And to level it up. To restore parity. But yeah, Young Boys won, Leipzig won. That's where all the goals are gone tonight. We're not getting any in our game, and the Leipzig Young Boys game is going to be a classic. But yeah. Now Krunic. Trying to play the ball out wide to Leao, but Trippier cuts it out. Now it's with Longstaff. Bruno Guimaraes. Burn. Tonali. Round the corner into Isak. And now to Bruno Guimaraes. He was pulled back. And that has been brought back as a free kick when AC win back possession. Why go down the box if you have the ball and should have just had a shot instead? No guarantees a pen will be given, says Nick Nack. Yeah, seems a little bit silly there. I guess Longstaff didn't back himself to shoot and thought, well, if I win a pen, that's pretty much a guaranteed goal. But yeah. Obviously, pens aren't guaranteed goals, but there's a very good chance, about an 80% chance they do go in. So, yeah, Trippier now. And he'll look to swing this into the box. Well, lift it into the box from deep. He does do just that, but it's pushed away by Mainan. And now they could counter Milan. Chukwueze, Calabria going long, looking for Leao. Leao chests it down, flicks it to Pobega. Pobega finds the run outside from Hernandez, plays it into Leao. He's in behind. Rafael Leao cuts it onto his right foot. And again, Leao still going, should score, falls over the ball. Chukwueze, Pobega, it's off the line. Loftus-Cheek now keeps it alive. Here's Teo Hernandez, plays down the box, blocked by Longstaff, falls to Krunic, plays it forward. Who's it fallen to? Pobega, Loftus-Cheek. And it's over. Oh my God. How have Newcastle escaped that one? How have they escaped there? Leao, it was clumsy. For Baker, it was unfortunate. And Newcastle, it was lucky. But it's still 0-0. Wow. A very exciting moment there for Milan, but no goal. Ball into the box. Header from the number 20 up into the air, and then Pope has punched it away for a throw. Bit unnecessary that, but he did it nonetheless. Hernandez. Tomori. Ball in, and it's cleared away by Tonali. Isak looking to counter quickly, but Milan are on top of the ball, and now they'll look to come forwards. But that was positive for Milan, but you've got to feel like they should have scored there. I mean, Leao did excellently. He got in behind. He cut it back twice. Cut in twice, sorry. And, well, definitely should have finished. But, alas, no goal was forthcoming. Newcastle are getting lucky. Newcastle have been very fortunate. You're right there, Chelsea fan. Be interesting to see what Milan's XG is so far. I can actually have a look for you. It is... So 1.19 XG now for AC Milan. That tells you everything you need to know, really, doesn't it? And then nothing. Nothing for Newcastle. They've not had a shot. Not even one off target. They've not even gone from the halfway line and just gone, we might as well punt it long. And that ends up being a shot. Nothing. They've been so poor. And yeah, Milan having a very good game. Yet they've still not found a goal. And that's the crucial thing. Newcastle are not out of this game. Yeah, so welcome to the stream as well. Good evening, fellas. Good evening, mate. Good to see you. But yeah, chat then. Well, the poll in chat. 14 votes so far. 43% Newcastle. 36% Milan. Still very tight there. 21% of you guys saying it'll be a draw. So, yeah, very much a very split poll in chat. Whereas the other guy, yeah, so Harry is not here tonight. He's never usually here on Tuesdays, and tonight is no different. And yeah, if it is, well, he does usually join us for second halves when we do 8 o'clock kickoffs, but yeah, he will not be joining us at all tonight. Don't worry, he's not gone anywhere. I've not sacked him yet. But yeah, he won't be joining us this evening. Bruno. Guimaraes now moves out wide to Trippier. Is pulled back for the free kick. There's about 13 fouls there on Guimaraes. We beat AC Milan 2 times last season with Graham Potter, says Chelsea fan. Yeah. Indeed we did. Now, how times have changed for Chelsea. Here's Anthony Gordon cutting inside, and it's one back by Milan. Have Milan improved since then? I mean, they've added a few Chelsea players, a few more Chelsea players to the mix. I think they're a decent team. I mean, they definitely weren't Champions League semi-finalist good last season, but ball at the back post for Leao, keeps it alive. Chukwueze, how have they not scored? I mean, Giroud's gone for their red kick. I don't think he was fouled there. He's gone for a red kick. It's always going to end a bit clumsily. And then Chukwueze, he sort of just runs at the header. It's a decent ball from Chukwueze, finding Leao at the back post. He maybe should have had a shot. He tries to head it across instead, and then yeah, it's messy. Chukwueze not even really looking towards the goal with his header. But yeah, tries to have a red kick there, Giroud, and it's not come off. I didn't remember who was Jack and who was Harry. Fair enough, Yellowstone. The other guy, lol. Yeah. Yeah, indeed, Gary. The other guy. Harry's new name. But yeah, Harry's glasses like Harry Potter. Like that, Gary. Nice little memory aid. And Jack has no glasses. Indeed. Murphy. Trippier. Longstaff. They're in the box now. Gordon is blocked. And now they'll look to break away. Milan Chukwueze lifting it into Leao. Has he got the beating of Botman? Botman's made a bit of a hash of it, but he's got away with that there. Let the ball go over him and then had to sort of overhead kick it up away. But yeah. That was their best opportunity yet. Misjudged the bounce. What, Chukwueze? I don't think he was expecting it to come to him. Samuel Chukwueze, obviously he expected Giroud to overhead kick it and just completely misjudged the fact that it would hit him in the face. But yeah. Newcastle looks so vulnerable on the break. You're right there, Nick Nack. And just found willing on. AC Milan. But yeah, 7 minutes then until half time. So not long left to go in this first half. Both sides will be keen to get a goal. And yeah, neither side yet, though, having a goal forthcoming. Yeah, so I'm saying, just came home from ping pong practice. That's why I'm late. Fair enough. I love a bit of ping pong, as Harry says in chat. But yeah. Milan looked excellent, though. Milan really have looked phenomenal so far. I mean, they should have scored. This Leao chance wriggled through players, and they tried to do a back heel, and it just hasn't come off. Pabega's shot blocked off the line as well. But you're going to feel like a fool when you try a back heel like that in a Champions League match. It just doesn't come off. If it comes off, you're in a highlights reel forever. Now you're only in negative highlights reels. Here is Shah. Option in the box if he can lift the ball in there. Burn heads it to Isak. Isak. Can he flick it over his head? No, he can't. Brought down in the box, but that again is a soft one. And they're whinging about, the Milan players are whinging about Isak there. And they've been booked for their troubles. I believe that's Davide Calabria who's picked up a yellow card. The captain and Tonali just having to tell him to shut up. Oh, he's still having a go here, Calabria. He needs to watch himself. I think his complaint is that he's the captain. He's the one that's allowed to go and talk to the ref. But clearly something about his demeanour or his, perhaps the fact he's shouting at him, isn't pleasing enough, and he has picked up a yellow card there, Davide Calabria. Longstaff running in the channel. Has he got an option? Isak. Let's run across his body. Murphy takes aim, and that's their first shot of the half. Though calling it a shot is a bit of an overstatement. The only thing shot is that poor woman in the crowd. No, not a bad effort from Murphy, but still yet to find the target, Newcastle. Yeah, seeing a repeat that Calabria right in the face of the referee as he shouts at him. No real surprise they've been booked for that. Here is Shah. Happy to hold the ball in possession, Newcastle, at the moment, because that means they're not in danger of conceding just yet. Isak. And he's robbed a possession again, but it's given as a free kick. Also free kicks, I would say, in this game. Newcastle players going down without any sort of encouragement. Without much encouragement. And yeah, I mean, at the moment they're benefiting from it. They've got a fair few free kicks. Well, that was poor. Burn tries to pass it to Gordon and makes a hash of it again. It's been really sloppy from Newcastle. I don't know if it's the occasion or the fact that it's in the Champions League. I mean, they have been poor this season so far, but so perhaps that plays into it. But they've looked really sloppy. Calabria. Now Mainan. Tior. Fantastic defender, Malik Tior. Someone who's not really known, I would say, in the European stage, on the world stage, but I mean, he has formed a very good partnership with Tomori over the last season, and well, he'll be hoping he can really nail down his starting berth in one of the first names on the tee sheet for AC Milan this season. Any ideas what changes How could make at half time? Our personal change what he needs is it actually looking at the more tactical aspects, because Newcastle, they're pressing high at the pitch at the moment. Is it actually more beneficial for them to sit off Milan? Leao, I mean, you look at Bayer Leverkusen at the weekend; they were high pressing in the start of the match, and they really struggled then because Bayern could play through them so easily. And it's similar to how Newcastle experiencing here. They're pressing high. Milan are more than happy just to play over the top of that press into their midfielders, into Olivier Giroud, who can hold the ball up really well. So the high press isn't really achieving anything. But yeah. Harry says, are we seeing a goal before the end of the half? Nah, only 2 minutes now. I don't think we'll see a goal. Don't think there's a goal in this just yet. If anyone's going to find a goal, that's going to be Milan. They really should have found one by now. They should have found about 8. But, yeah. Calabria. Chukwueze. Fouled by Byrne. I think there's an argument for a yellow card there, but nobody seems to be protesting it. Probably out for picking up a yellow for themselves. Can Newcastle do what Rosenborg did in 1996, beat Milan at the San Siro? Potentially so. I'm not sure, though. Milan have definitely got the better side in this game. Newcastle looked a beat off the pace. Don't know if that's correct, if that's how pace works, whether it's measured in beats, but if it is, that's a brilliant analogy. Milan. Tior. Now it's with Milan. Just lifting it towards Pobega. Gets a flick on Leao. Brings it under his control nicely, Rafael Leao. And there's an overload here for Milan. They've got a lot of attacking players forward. Newcastle recover quickly though. Pobega. Hernandez. Can he make something happen? No. And it falls to Calabria. Plays it out wide. Chukwueze. This has got to go in the box really from Samuel Chukwueze. Drives a few players. Still has the ball. Looks dangerous. And that's cleared away by Byrne. And they've scored it there. No added time then. It's half time here. AC Milan 0. Newcastle 0. I mean, it's hardly a first half to write home about, but you've got to feel Milan there. They're on top for most of the game. Really should have got the job done. Really should have got a goal by now. Instead, they go into the break with a deadlock unbroken. It's Milan 0. Newcastle 0. Still coming to the ref though, Milan players. But yeah, I feel like, as I've been saying, Milan definitely should have found a goal in that first half. Newcastle have looked poor. There's been a lot of space to exploit in that Newcastle backline. It's actually really interesting how many parallels there are with that Bayern game on Friday night. If you saw that, you'd have noticed that when Bayer Leverkusen came forward on the counter in the way that Milan are, there was so much space. And the Bayern players, defenders were almost looking around going, how can we possibly mark this many players? What we've seen so far is that same sort of thing. Milan hit really fast on the counter. There's a lot of space to use. They're really controlling the midfield at the moment. Newcastle look practically, they're a sieve. Everything goes through. They look practically non-existent in there. And Milan have been brilliant. I've been playing it quickly. Newcastle defenders looking around going, how on earth can we mark all these players? As they push forward quick on the counter, and that's where they've done the damage so far. They really should have scored. Really should have scored. There's been multiple times where the player should have scored and just didn't, for whatever reason. Most notable chance obviously coming from Rafael Leao. Cuts inside again, taking it past 2 players. Should have scored. Tries to overdo it really. Doesn't need to be a back heel there. Just side foot it home and wheel away into the crowd. You don't need to try a back heel. But yeah. Dad's saying, is it League Cup next week? I believe so. I believe it is. I don't know if we're going to cover any of it yet. I don't think we've decided, but we may do. If there's enough interest, then I'm sure we'll cover it. But yeah, Carl saying Milan far superior. I have to agree with you there. Carl, I think, yeah, as you say, Milan, they've looked the better side. They've really been on top of Newcastle. Newcastle have struggled to get going, struggled to really create anything. They've also been very vulnerable on the counter, as I've mentioned. So a lot of problems for Howe to address in that first half. How he does that, I'm not too sure. Because it's the same system Newcastle have been using in all competitions. They've not really shown any variation there. So it's on Howe. It's on Howe now to come up with something, to be adaptive, to show his tactical acumen and really come up with something at half-time that can break Milan down, but also remain defensively solid. Maybe it's just about sitting a little bit deeper, standing off them a little bit more, because at the moment they're pressing as a 5 almost. So obviously Isak presses forward, then the 2 wingers press forward, then the 2 midfielders press forward. And because Milan just aren't playing around the back, they're more than happy to make the pass, draw Newcastle forward, and then release it. A little exit ball into their midfield, operating in Newcastle's half, into Giroud, who's obviously done really well fighting against both Botman and Shah. And if every time they do that, they're getting in behind. Or when Newcastle do attack, they commit way too much to the attack, don't actually create anything meaningful, and then get sprung on the counter. So a lot of issues to be addressed at half time, a lot to work on. It'll be interesting to see when they go out for the second half, whether there's any changes, both tactical or personnel-wise. But yeah, they've been particularly poor for Newcastle so far, I don't think. I mean, there's definitely been some underperforming players. I think they've done fine, though. They've done fine. It's just about upping that level to really take the game to Milan, because Milan have been excellent. And yeah, you've got to feel that if Milan put away any of their chances, they would be winning this game by a hefty margin. So yeah, it's not great so far for Newcastle, but they're handed a lifeline by the fact that they're not losing yet. So I think for now at least Newcastle are all right, but they've got to change something in the second half, or that goal for Milan is going to come eventually. So yeah, good first half football though. Hopefully it keeps up in the same way. It's still 0-0. Still 1-1 in that Young Boys Leipzig game. Intriguingly, really, I didn't expect to see. Didn't expect to see the I want to talk about Young Boys really take the game to Leipzig. I thought that'd be a comfortable victory for Leipzig, but as we're seeing so far, 1-0. So, I mean, Young Boys have a habit of finding victories against bigger clubs on the opening day of the Champions League group stage. They did it 2 years ago against Manchester United. They're doing it again here. So, yeah, good. I mean, clearly they're doing well so far. But yeah. Yellowstone says, I'm not sure if I have mentioned this before, but the wife of former Chelsea player Erland Johnson was my nanny in kindergarten. Fair enough. I don't know if you have mentioned it before. Yes, and you probably have, and I've just completely forgotten it. But yeah, apologies for that. But yeah. Anyway, other things to mention from that first half then. In terms of what Milan did well, I mean, we've spoken about how they're very good at pinging the ball in behind, but they've also used the width really well. And actually, their wingers are doing a lot of the hard work, or a lot of the good work, I should say. And what Leao loves to do is just receive the ball, either burst down the line because you know he can do that, but he can also cut inside, and it's that unpredictability that's making him a massive issue at the moment. It's the same for Chukwueze on the other side. The fact they can both go either way is a massive problem for Newcastle, because they don't really know how to deal with the wingers, and that's why Leao was able to cut in, because how can you mark a player and stop him going both ways? You can't, unless you know yoga and stick both your legs out, but then you're gonna then they may well just put it through your legs. But yeah, they've had loads of chances, Milan. They really should have made more of them. We're going to see a few here then during the half time. This was the Pobega shot from range. I mean, he struck it well, but it was way too central. Then, of course, the Hernandez header. Ball whipped in from the corner and he heads it into the ground. It pings up at Pope, who parries it away nicely. But definitely should have made more of that. Hernandez burst down that left-hand side, put it in for Giroud, and, well, he definitely could have scored. I think now we're seeing that Leao one then. So he does well. He manages to flick it back to Pobega. He plays it to Hernandez. Hernandez first time through to Leao. Here you're thinking, head up, have a shot. He has to take it past two players. Then he's got a multitude of options to use, or he could just shoot. He takes past a few more, tries a back heel, messes it up, and then the Pobega shot blocked off the line by Jacob Murphy. But Newcastle looked vulnerable in that moment. They have for a lot of the half looked vulnerable. Milan really should have made the most of that opportunity and put it in the back of the net, really. But yeah. But you'd love to see my nan stick my nan sticks both their legs out. Love it, Gary. I mean, it doesn't really work, but yeah, I get what you're trying to do. But yeah. Anyway, Newcastle in the second half, how do they turn this around? It's a question which, well, how on earth could we answer? But we can try and brainstorm some ideas. Eddie Howe, it's something he's going to have to think about. I think for me, I would do what Alonso did on Friday night. As I mentioned, just sit back a little. There's no need to press high. Milan aren't playing around at the back. They're not going to... All they want to do is draw you out of possession and play it over the top. So just sit off them. Sure, Isak can push, and both wingers, fine. But get the midfield to sit a little deeper. Just be prepared that when that ball comes forward to win that first header, and then have someone to win the knockdown, and then you take it the other way and you build attacks of your own and really put the pressure on the opposition, because so far Newcastle haven't really done a lot. Gary says, Joe Cole seems to be improving as a pundit, certainly better than Paul Scholes. That is the lowest bar, but yeah, he is, I would say he's a better pundit. I think the Champions League show should be more watchable. I mean, I don't know whether Rio's going to come later. I'm hoping not, but if he doesn't, then the Champions League show should be more watchable. I'm guessing that maybe Rio is still on it and he'll be on later because Laura Woods also isn't on the early kickoff. So maybe they just don't put. I mean, maybe that would make sense, throwing Jermaine Genius and Joe Cole on the early kickoff, and then letting the rest do the big games tonight. I like Joe Genius not so much. Yeah, no, Jermaine Genius is interesting. I mean, he hosted the 2022 Qatar World Cup draw. I remember streaming it and being like, "Why on earth is Jermaine Genius hosting this?" But because it's obviously usually it's hosted by a legend of the country. But Qatar are really struggling to find any of those. So, yeah, they had to get Jermaine Genius. It's just obviously the next most logical solution. But yeah, Joe Cole, Chelsea legend. You are spot on there, Chelsea fan. A very good player in his day. A great player for Chelsea and, of course, for West Ham. And yeah, a marvellous player. But yeah, where do we see the game going from here then, chat? Get involved. Who do you think? Do you think that Newcastle will come out the break looking a little bit different? Or do you think that instead Milan will continue as they are and actually push on and then score? Get your answers in the chat. I want to know from you guys your opinions because, well, personally, I think Milan look more likely to score. I don't know if I've not really seen ever in house history that he's able to change a game like that. He's not really shown that tactical acumen, as I've mentioned. So for me, it's more likely that Milan come away with the victory or continue in the way they are. But yeah, who knows? Maybe a personnel change, maybe a little tactical tweak for Newcastle could just turn this game on its head. The fact that Milan haven't scored as well so far will give Newcastle hope that actually if they change the way they're playing, they can get everything, all 3 points out of this game. I think that says I think we'll see more of the same. Can't really see how Newcastle can change things too much. AC Milan will feel the game is there for the taking. And this is the issue for Newcastle, I would say, is the fact that they don't have a plan B. We've seen this a few times now. If they are losing, they don't really know what to do after that. We saw like in the Brighton match? Or did they win the Brighton? No, the Brighton match. They got torn apart in that game. And they didn't really know what to do at the end there. It feels like they know their system, but they don't know how to manage it in game. I don't know whether that's a shortcoming of Eddie Howe, whether the players are just not doing what they're told. I don't know. But they're not really doing. They don't know how to kill games off for starters. We saw that in the Liverpool game. They don't know how to change things when things are going badly. Today will be an interesting to see whether they have come up with something to change matches like this, whether Howe can come up with something. But yeah, I mean, if they continue the way they are, then they really should lose this game. But yeah. I'd bring Wilson on, says Das. Really? I don't think Isak was the issue in that half. I feel like they didn't give him the service he needs at all. That they were able to play the ball into him and he held it up all right and was knocking it to a few players. But what he needs is to knock it back to Tonali and then turn and run and see the ball coming over his shoulder. Not to knock it back to Tonali and then watch as they just pass it side to side for a couple of minutes and then make a half chance happen. But by which point Milan are all sat in their penalty box anyway and they can just head it away. So they need to be a bit more urgent. They need to be releasing Isak in behind, giving him something to chase and giving Mainan a decision to make. But yeah, unless they can start doing that, I think it's going to be difficult for them to turn the game around. Will we see any changes then? I guess we'll find out in the next minute. But yeah. Pep Guardiola has turned up at, I believe, City are at home tonight. It looks like it, yes. And he is at the stadium, greeted by the adoring City fans. All 8 of them. And yeah, that is sure to be an exciting game. Speaking of exciting games, obviously, later tonight, the other game in this group, it's PSG Dortmund. That is sure to be a cracker. And obviously TNT are showing the Celtic final game since it's a Scottish team and they love to show Scottish teams. But yeah, will be an interesting game, that one, I'm sure. I think final will probably have the measure of them, but anything can happen in the Champions League, and that would be a very big early 3 points for Celtic. So yeah, should be a good one, that. Eredivisie champions versus FPL champions, I want to say. Is it that? What do they call it? Is it SFPL? SPFL? Can't remember. But yeah. I know that, I think, yeah, it's SPFL, isn't it? Because I think they had to change it after Saudi Pro League became a thing. But yeah. Just in a tweet saying this game stinks of AC Milan 0, Newcastle 1, 80th minute Dan Burn header. Little FMing. Could definitely say it. Also, interestingly, changes for AC Milan. So I think Calabria's off, which makes sense given the fact he's already on a yellow. And that is, I think that's Reinders, I want to say. And Pulisic also being potentially introduced now. So this is interesting. This is very interesting. A potential triple change for AC Milan. Looking to build on momentum from the first half and change this game. So Florenzi's definitely coming on, which makes sense given the fact that Calabria's on a yellow. I can't imagine all the others are coming on as well. I imagine Pioli's just having a chat with them. But Florenzi will be added into proceedings. I don't think any others are coming on, but that does show we will expect to see Tiani, Reinders and Christian Pulisic in the not too distant future. Oh no, they are bringing on Reinders. Okay. I believe his name is Reinders. Let me just double check that. But changes then for AC Milan. So, yeah, Reinders? Reinders? I don't know how you pronounce his name. Apologies. But, yeah, so Tiani Reinders coming into the game and Christian Pulisic coming in as well. So a triple change at half-time. Simon Kjær's also here. I don't know if he's coming on. I can't imagine so. But a lot of changes for Milan. For a Milan side that are winning, no less, coming into the break. No, it's not winning, sorry, but have played better. Oh yeah, should be winning. Very much should be winning. But I think Kjær may be going on as well then. This is bizarre. This is very bizarre. I don't know how many changes AC Milan are making. Well, I guess we'll see in a minute, but yeah. It's also interesting to see the Milan and Newcastle players chatting in the tunnel. But then Newcastle now heading out onto the field. Milan still waiting on a few players. And then we'll get underway for the second 45. So yeah, it looks like Pulisic and Reinders coming on then. So not happy about something, Pioli. And I believe it's Chukwueze that will make way. Or potentially Giroud. If they're looking to really play counter-attacking. That could be something that happens. Guess we'll find out in a second. If I was Milan manager, I'd be more of the same, please, says Nick Nack. I think, though, he'll want them to throw play. I think he'll want to throw players on here to really show, actually, we're not going to stand, while they have played well, we're not going to stand for players that don't score. So I think it makes sense. Yeah, so Florenzi is on for Calabria. I don't know if they're making any other changes. It doesn't look like they are, but they're definitely ready to bring in Reinders and Christian Pulisic. And potentially even Simon Kjær at a moment's notice. But yeah, Calabria coming off. He was quite riled up in that first half. Already on a yellow, really struggling to deal with Gordon. So I think it makes sense to bring him on. So yeah, Pioli is now just explaining something to Krunic. So a little change potentially in his role, but yeah. I thought Chukwueze had a great half. Yeah, no, I did as well, Chelsea fan. Not Chelsea fan, sorry, Nick Nack. But he did lack end product a little bit. I thought he's a very exciting player. But as he has throughout his career, he's very much lacked end product in this game so far. Definitely could have had assist, though, if Leao had finished at the back post, that chance, and could have had a goal if he'd realised that Giroud was going to miss a red kick. But we are now underway for the second half. I've once again been caught napping on the timer, which is not ideal, but there we go. I will try and get that closer to the actual time. Very fiddly job, this. I have to wait now to the 46th minute. But yeah. So on the way here for the second half. And Chukwueze threw it on and then Giroud passed it back and he was in an offside position. Bit of a rookie error there. Yeah. I don't know what you said there, Gary. It's not a language I understand. But yeah. If you could translate, that would be appreciated. There we go. Sort of the timer now. We can get into the football. But yeah. 45 minutes to go then. Both sides will be hoping that 3 points are going their way. But yeah. So just the one change then at the break, and it's for AC Milan, the side that have been on top. Longstaff, Bruno Guimaraes. Now it's with Trippier, plays down the line. Jacob Murphy cuts it back, ball in, headed away by Teal. Now Hernandez gets the flick on. Loftus-Cheek and Leao coming across to collect it, though it's fallen to Gordon now. And Florenzi, the fresh legs already, then comes out and think about Tonali. Cuts inside and it's blocked by Teal. Byrne wins the header. Tonali takes it away from Gordon and Florenzi smashes it away from Tonali. Giroud challenging Botman. Botman remains solid though and gets it gone. Then Leao struggles to get a flick on. And it's fallen to Newcastle. Trippier. Is he going to keep that on? He does. That's excellent from Kieran Trippier. Bruno. Fabian Schär. Excellent switch to Gordon now. He drives into the middle of the pitch. Isak. Tonali. Now Byrne. Botman swings it out to Trippier. Now Schär. Newcastle need to move this ball forward and fast. Because they're so slow in the build-up stage that Milan just get back so quickly. So they can't break them down. Yeah, we are now getting lineups confirmed in the other matches. The PSG Dortmund lineup has just come out. No real shocks, I wouldn't say. In that. No Allaire, though. Milan starting instead. And yeah, we'll be interested to see whether Dortmund can actually do all right in that game, because they've been pretty poor in the league, has to be said. Well, I guess 8 points from 4 games isn't too poor, but they should have beaten Heidenheim and Bochum, and then they'll be top of the league. So they had a very nice fixture list. But yeah. Nickness says, I always feel that home away advantage is magnified when playing in Europe as opposed to domestic league. Yeah, for quite obvious reasons of the fact that, one, the other team have got to travel, and it's not just a simple little bus up and down England. It's you've got to get a plane abroad. You're playing in a foreign country, and obviously, being abroad and all that sort of stuff has its impacts. So yeah, it can be very difficult for away sides, especially if you don't get a huge travelling crowd. Not that Newcastle don't. Newcastle, I imagine, have sold every single seat. Probably have 2 to a seat at this rate, but yeah. Yoso says, I'm not complaining, but a lineup graphic would maybe improve the stream a tiny bit. Yeah, I think that's definitely an option, I guess. Maybe something to think about. The problem is with that is we wouldn't be able to make that graphic until an hour before kickoff. And considering we stream 15 minutes, we'd have about 45 minutes between when the lineups are released and then when it goes out, and we already have a lot of stuff to do in that time frame. So it is definitely something maybe that we'll look at in the future. Probably not anything in the near future. It'd be quite nice to have it running along the bottom like here as I'm reading it out at the start of the game. But yeah, thank you for your suggestion, Yellowstone. If you've got any other suggestions, either put them into stream chat today or get involved in the Discord. We've got a whole thing in there for suggestions and stuff like that, and video ideas. So yeah, something you could show before the game, but we don't need it while the game's in play. Yeah, well, maybe while I'm reading it out, we can have a little graphic on the covering Harry. So that would work there. But yeah. Anyway, Milan throwing now on the near side. No, sorry, Newcastle throwing. And Dan Bird taking his time to get forward and get it. But yeah. Burn. Gordon. Now looking to switch the play, Jacob Murphy. And he takes aim and it's miles over the bar. But yeah. And thank you for your suggestion, Yellowstone. Of course, I know a load of other creators, they've got way better graphics than us and stuff like that. Got to consider they've been doing a lot longer. And of course, a lot of them have huge teams behind them. They don't have to make their own graphics before every stream. And yeah. But yeah, I think a lineup graphic would help a lot. Always looking at ways to improve the stream. Tior plays it forward. Another thing we're talking about recently here at TFC is what we do with the podcast, really, because we love doing the podcast, but doesn't really do a lot on YouTube. We'd love to get your guys' take on it, because I know that often, I don't know how many of you guys watch all the episodes and stuff like that. I know sometimes we'll get comments on them, but it feels like our 20 to 30 minute videos are a lot better than our podcast. So we were talking about potentially either not having the podcast or making the podcast only on audio or something like that. We could still upload it to members as well. But yeah, we're considering not having, or not posting the podcast all the time. But yeah, just a shot there from AC Milan going past the post, Florenzi from range. But yeah, I think we try and fill that content gap with something, but it feels like the podcast just doesn't tend to perform very well. But yeah, we'd love to know how many people that watch the streams also watch the podcasts. So if you could get involved, please do. But yeah. And maybe that gives us something for members only. Tamori throws it to Minor. Now Tior. Now it is with Tamori. One more thing while I'm suggesting things. Do you only have one mic? Because when Harry's on with you, his audio is not the same quality as yours. We have two mics. The problem we've had at the moment is that we can't get the settings so that both the mics can be on. We're trying to make it so they focus on just one voice, and so we get the same quality, obviously. The problem is, I think we're in too close proximity, but we don't really have a fix for that. So we're trying to work on it. Maybe we just need to get a bigger table and sit further apart and make the angle bigger. But yeah, I don't really know how to solve that issue. It feels like we need to get in someone who knows what they're doing, but I don't know anyone who knows. I don't really know anyone who knows what they're doing. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Please make sure the mic settings are the same and distance too. Guy says, always have difficult hearing Harry. Yeah. That's definitely something to work on then. Thank you guys. But yeah, mine and they're punching it away. Chakweze. I think yeah, the two mic setup I think it looks really good. We just don't really know how to make it so that they can both, so you can distinguish between the two. But yeah. So we tend to turn his off on stream, because if not, you get a bit of an echo. So yeah, we don't really know how to solve that issue. Maybe we do just sit too close. But yeah. Except for that, I'm happy with everything. Thank you, Yellowstone. But yeah, we are going to think about content and stuff, because we have been growing and it has been really good. September has been a bit of a slow month, looking at our analytics and stuff like that. Everything seems to be down. And I get that obviously August was the start of all the hype and stuff like that for the new season. And I think we had the end of the Women's World Cup as well, so we were streaming a lot. But yeah, it does just feel like it's died down a lot over September so far. Need a bigger shed. Yeah, it would be perfect if we had a huge studio. If we had a BBC size one, like all the cameras and stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, we do not have that. But yeah. Yeah, but there's still, obviously we know there's still a lot to work on. And we're just looking at ways we can grow the channel and the community and stuff like that, and obviously improve the setup. The competition on YouTube is pretty intense. Yeah, that's the thing. We don't really have a niche, I wouldn't say. Like, we don't really have something that Only we do. We do the football streams, to do the podcast. Obviously, I guess in that sense, the niche is us. But for someone just like scrolling through YouTube, you don't see that niche. You just see the thumbnail on the title, which looks like any other football channel. So, yeah. For the 2-mic setup, you want to have both mics in cardioid mode and gain turned down, so the mics aren't picking up the other person's, which causes the echo. Okay. I don't really know anything about the technical side of things, Gary. I'll screenshot that and show Harry that later. But yeah, I don't really know much about stuff. But yeah, the bigger games get streamed by more people. Yeah, exactly. I think that's what benefited us over the Women's World Cup. Obviously, is that there wasn't a lot of other people covering it, but there was still a lot of interest. The problem for us is if we do the smaller games, do people still watch? Because I personally, as well, would rather watch Milan Newcastle than be watching Leipzig Young Boys right now. So yeah, it's really difficult to meet those sort of demands and stuff. But yeah, it's literally controlled by those two dials on the mic. We've got one dial on the mic, Gary. Unless there's another one. Oh yeah, the things on the back. Okay, I thought you meant the one on the front. But yeah. You know lots about football, and that's the most important. Yeah, Stone. I obviously I get that, but it's all about packaging it on YouTube, I guess. It's how to get people to watch, because I think once people watch, they do enjoy our stuff. But it's just about getting people here, really, and yeah, learning how to do that. Maybe we just need to get Mark Goldbridge on, and then everyone will watch. Don't know how we go about doing that either. Also, YouTube is configured so those with the most followers or viewers get higher listings and searches. Exactly. It's hard to break that mold, really, isn't it? But yeah. The thing is, whilst the number has been bad, we did have a very successful video a couple of weeks back, obviously talking about Jordan Henderson and that whole situation. But yeah. We'd still love to get your guys' take on the podcast and stuff, whether you do listen or watch, and what you watch or listen to it on. Because yeah, that's something we have been speaking about recently. Because I think obviously the live streams are fantastic. I think they're very much for the viewers we've already got, though. It's about using the other content we make to try and grow the audience so that we have an audience for when we're doing the live streams. And then once we've got an audience, that will push us up the rankings, hopefully. That's at least the way I'm trying to look at it. But yeah. A fantastic conversation, by the way, guys. Thank you. And then I was saying on further small channels, otherwise you get lost in the chat. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there. I really enjoy watching Goldbridge. I think he's great. But yeah, you can't really talk with the creator there. Yeah, that's something I really hope we always keep, even if we do grow. I don't think we'll ever be. I don't know if we'll ever be the size of a Mark Goldbridge, but yeah, I hope we can build a somewhat sizable platform. And yeah. Chukwueze. Cuts inside. Now it's Hernandez. It's good practice. You're developing rare skills as you do these shows. You grow as a person even if the channel doesn't take off. Yeah, I mean, thank you, Yellowstone. But yeah, seems Milan's dominance is continuing. Yeah, right there, Gary. That's the thing, right? I saw a good tweet from Mr. Beast the other day showing how many subs he had at each age, and at the same age as I am now, we have the same sub count. We have the same sub count as he does. I don't think we're going to have 184 million in 8 years' time, but you never know. You never know. Anyway, Newcastle are coming forwards now. Yeah, do you reckon, chat? Do you think Newcastle will be looking at changes soon? I mean, so far only the one change. Obviously, Milan bringing in Florenzi in for Calabria, but we are now at the 60th minute mark. Ball free for Newcastle, but Tonali can't bring under control. He was in an offside position either way. Keep hitting that like button, people. Says Chelsea fan. Indeed, that's one way to help out. Show the algorithm you're loving the stream. And yeah, hopefully that pushes out to a wider audience. But yeah, they are now seeing a change. So Pulisic on for Chukwueze. AC Milan looking to reinvigorate their attack. And at the same time, it will be Reinders, Tiani Reinders coming on. So that would end of Chuckway's night, and that would be the end of Pobega's night. Two players who've done all right, but yeah, now Milan looking to spice up their attack in the search of a goal. They look good so far, Milan, tonight. I think quite interestingly, I would say they've looked better tonight than they have in any game I watched them last season, and they got to the UCL semi-finals. So I know they've got a really nice run, but based on that logic, Champions League finalists, Champions League winners, we're watching right now. I don't know whether they've just been made to look really good because Newcastle have been pretty poor tonight, or whether they are actually playing good, but either way, it'll be interesting to see how they get on, obviously going forwards. Who do Newcastle have that could make a difference, though? Almiron, Wilson, that's about it. Barnes as well, on the bench. I mean, that's a whole front three change there, Gary. It could make a big difference. Lewis Hall could come into the midfield, potentially. But yeah, I do think Newcastle's depth needs improvement. I would agree with that. And, well, they are now going to be making changes. Tyndall just having a chat with Wilson as they look to make their first sub. Well, actually, they're going to bring on Almiron in the meantime. No, they're doing a double change. Okay. Jacob Murphy off then for Miguel Almiron on that right-hand side. And then it will be who? It is Alexander Isak off for Callum Wilson. No, Anthony Gordon off. Isak just came over for a drink. Confusing. Anyway, so Wilson, Isak both on. Presumably Isak moves out wide, Wilson through the middle. Gordon comes off, Murphy comes off. Almiron on as well. I think that sums it up. They really should have shopped around a bit over the summer. Yeah, well, I don't think Newcastle had too much to pay. Too much wriggle room in the FFP. In their FFP accounts. Obviously, they signed Tonali for, what, 80 million? 90 million, something like that. So they didn't have a lot of wriggle room after that. They signed Harvey Barnes at 30? Something around that mark. They had a Tino Livramento for a similar sort of fee. And, of course, Lewis Hall on loan with an option to buy in a year's time. So, a few different options there. Well, a few different players they bought there, totaling around 150 million. If you think they also spent 150 million in the other two windows combined, then they haven't really sold anyone. They are in a bit of an FFP hole. So, yeah, I mean, they helped out with the fact that Newcastle didn't buy anyone for years before the Saudis took over. But yeah, Trippier tries to come forwards and he's run off the pitch. And now Milan will come the other way. Rada Krunic shifts it out wide. David Calabria. That's Loftus-Cheek just running into Byrne. Now Guimaraes. Almiron spins and he's driving forwards. Guimaraes. Longstaff, Bruno Guimaraes, now Almiron again. Longstaff, this is nice football. Guimaraes again. About 100 passes must stuff in the midfield there, but they have now lost possession and they'll look to come the other way. Milan, Tiani Reinders moves it out wide. Now it's Leao, tries that long ball in behind and it hasn't quite come off. Trippier. Longstaff. The pace of the game certainly turned up a notch, has to be said. But yeah. Callum Wilson, another double first namer. Yeah. I don't know too many people with the name Wilson, but it is a first name, yeah. Mr. Wilson is doing fine despite the handicap. What handicap, yes? Has he got a knock? Ball in behind now from Trippier. Wilson chasing it, and it's seen out by Tior, and that will be a Newcastle throw. Tior, though, running away with the ball in his hands. Now we'll throw it back. Don't really know what the point in all that was, but yeah. Milan Ultras jumping, singing, dancing, and having a great time. But yeah, Newcastle throwing now. Well, they haven't really been in this match. There's a chance here to make, well, at least Milan work. If they can get this throwing right. Trippier. Still, they've really registered to... They've still not really done anything. I don't think they've registered a shot on target yet. They need to wake up. But yeah. Anyway, 25 minutes to go here. Trippier. Oh, the handicap's the 2 first names. Yeah, okay. I think Gary said he doesn't trust players with 2 first names. Not that they're bad at football. Wilson. It's also confusing if you've got like a register. So obviously, in a register they tend to put first names as the first. No, last name. Sorry, first. So you'd end up with like Wilson Callum, and that could be. I mean, not many people have the surname Callum, but could be seen as a name. And we're on held off well by Tamori, and that's an AC Milan goal kick. But yeah, just under 25 minutes then left in this one, plus obviously what we have allotted for additional time. But Milan, they need a goal. They really need a goal. Florenzi goes down the line. Pulisic, Florenzi. You just think the longer this goes on, and that's not great, that, from Florenzi falling over and kicking it out. 2 things you don't want to do. But you've got to feel that the longer this goes on, the more likely it is that Newcastle come up with something random in the last minutes. But yeah, I mean, there's obviously a chance this game ends 0-0, and it's something we've not really spoken about. It seemed obvious that someone would find a goal eventually, but based on what we've seen so far, it's going to end 0-0. It's just obviously going to end 0-0. Lorenzi, Krunic, Tior. Loftus-Cheek, trying to get involved. Not getting stuck in there. Giroud loses the header. Now Hernandez. It's fallen to a red shirt though, and they keep going. Reinders. Leao. Reinders. Can he come up with something? No, he goes to Krunic. Now Teo Hernandez. He can put the ball in, and he does, but it's not great, and it's into the hands of Pope. 1 goal for Milan, and they could nick this, says Gary. Yeah. Oh, Nick saying 1 goal for Newcastle, and they can nick this. Indeed, it could go either way. That's the nature of 0-0. But yeah. Where do we see it going then, chat? Milan winning, our Newcastle winning. Have your say. Obviously, the poll in chat currently siding with Milan, but yeah. If your opinions change, feel free to say so in chat. Yellowstone says, anything to be aware of regarding FPL? Trippier looks all right. Yeah, I think Trippier's fine. But obviously, looking out for injuries and stuff in this opening, in this Champions League games, obviously with FPL in mind. And yeah, I watch at the City lineup, see who's playing for them. Obviously, for UCL Fantasy as well. I've got a Kanji, and he doesn't play. That's great. But yeah, Matthias Nunez starting in that game. And Alvarez getting the start as well. Some people worried he may well be rotated. Well, he's in the side. Loftus-Cheek goes around his man, and then it's into the hands of Pope. But yeah, other games tonight. Barcelona obviously take on Royal Antwerp. I think that should be a fairly comfortable win for Bayern, though for Barca, though I'm sure Toby Alderweireld will not want to give Robert Lewandowski an easy time of things. Then you've got a Shakhtar Porto. I think that will be a close one. Really could go either way there. Obviously, PSG Dortmund. That's going to be a very good game of football. I think, though, PSG will win. Strike from range. Blocked by the first man there, Hernandez. And then Lazio Atleti, that game again. Couldn't call it, to be fair. That should be a real good one. And then Feyenoord Celtic. Feyenoord will score 15. But yeah. A change incoming for Milan. I'm not too sure who that is. I feel like I definitely should know who that is. But I'm going to check. Shame because Newcastle have a nice run of fixtures coming up. Looks like Isak will be first pick for Champions League match, so it can't be relied on FPL. This is the problem I find with Isak Wilson, is that rotation. I really don't know who to pick. I don't think I'm going to go for either. I've still got Jackson at the minute, which seems ill-advised. But he's got to score soon, I think. Surely. Are Milan trying wholeheartedly, or do they seem happy with a point? I think they'll be content with a point, but you've got to feel that how they've played, they'll want all three, because there may not be many games they win in the Champions League. If they can take a win today, that would be huge. But yeah. Chelsea fans saying Feyenoord 4, Celtic 0. Love it. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think Celtic got any shot in that game. So now it is the change for AC Milan. It will be number 8, who is Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming off, to be replaced by Yunus Musa. I knew I recognised his face from somewhere. But out of the context of the USMNT, I didn't recognise him. But yeah, now Yunus Musa coming on into this game to join his fellow American, Christian Pulisic. And a change for Newcastle as well. It'll be Elliot Anderson on and Sandro Tonali off. Not had the dream return to San Siro, as they've struggled to a 0-0 draw. He does get a standing ovation, though, from the Milan supporters, the home crowd. That is excellent to see. Must have been difficult for him tonight, Sandro, but he's done well. And now Newcastle bringing in Elliot Anderson to try and make a difference. Leo knocks it forward, and now Pope will take a moment after that drop ball. Here is Trippier. Trippier knocks it across. Here is Shah. He needs a wide option now. Shah finds Trippier again. I mean, they could keep playing like this all night. Not if Leao's going to get onto them like that, though. And yeah, looks absolutely knackered, Sandro Tonali. Fair enough. I think I would be dead by this point. Tiani Reinders. Here's Hernandez, now Reinders. Uses Krunic, back to Reinders. Now Tior. Now he's driving it forwards. Now it's with Florenzi. They've got numbers forward here, Milan. Florenzi, ball in, Rafael! And it's headed onto the top of the net. They've came so close in this game, Milan, and this is worrying for Milan and for Leao. So he goes for the header, obviously, but he's landed horribly on... Oh, no, I think he's either landed horribly on his arm or his arm's been trodden on by Trippier. Either way, he's now down holding his elbow. Time for a Barnes Super sub performance, says Gary. I mean, that would be helpful. He is all right now, Leo. Guessing he's just trodden on. And Leipzig leave. Javier Schlager with the goal in that game, set up by Kevin Campbell. But yeah. So they are back ahead in that match. But the young boys definitely aren't out of it. Now Newcastle coming forwards. Pass back to Mainan. Now to Mori again. Krunic. Rada Krunic moves it out wide. Yunus Musa. Forward options ahead of him. Can he pick one out? Skips past Anderson despite the foul and advantages played. Pulisic tries to put it in there. Oh, Giroud flicks it on. And that's just not coming from Milan tonight. They've been the better side. They've played the better stuff. But for whatever reason, the goal is not forthcoming in this game. Now a corner, though. Can they make something happen from this? Yeah, Chelsea fans saying that RB Leipzig ahead. And yeah, I mean, obviously they'll be hoping they can win that. I mean, Leipzig have quite a nice group. So they'll be hoping they can progress through that as well. I mean, Barca and Antwerp, I believe. So yeah. Oh my God, ball falls to Hernandez and there's 2 block shots in there. But yeah, a few different opportunities that just didn't come from Milan. It's just so close yet so far. Oh, sorry, they're in the City group. But yeah, they should progress through that quite easily. And, well, they'll be hoping they don't lose 8-0 or something like that to City again. Do young boys have a proper pitch now? Wasn't aware they ever didn't. So, I don't know, knick-knack. Krunic. Tomori. Can he palm up with a pass? Finds, goes back to Krunic. Musa. Now it's with Florenzi. Needs a wide option. And that is now Christian Pulisic. Drives inside. Needs an option. Again, goes to Krunic. Leao, and he loses possession. And now Almiron's driving forward. It's a 2-on-2 for Newcastle. He has Isak in support. Almiron still going. Loses out though. He slowed down there and tried to find Isak. It just didn't work. And Leao tries to be a bit too cute about that one. It's come off Trippier, and that's his AC Milan throw. And they're coming forwards now, Milan. Leao. Trippier desperately trying to get back in. Huge tackle from Fabian Schär. Throw in again. 76 minutes on the clock. Not long left now. Just a reminder there of Schlager's strike, giving Leipzig the lead. Tomori. Now Tior. Here's Florenzi. Ball into the box is overhit. And well, Hernandez getting it there on the far side, and it's a Milan throw. Again. Finds Tomori. Hernandez. Will this go into the box? No, back to Tomori. Hernandez. Now it goes into the box as a tame cross headed away by Schär though. Krunic wins the header off Wilson. Then Reinders battling away with him. Newcastle lose possession once more. Reinders. Tomori. Bait the pass there to Tior and then went to Reinders instead. Gianni Reinders, now Krunic moves it forwards. Musa gives it wide. Florenzi. This should go into the box. Does go into the box, but it's overhit. Falls to Hernandez, whose strike is wild. Untamed and over the bar. Very much over the bar. Hit it, kicked it directly up in the air. But yeah. Just overhits that really, Florenzi. Puts too much power on it, needs a little less, and there's every chance that comes off nicely. But yeah, it's a repeat then of that of Pulisic and then Teo Hernandez both having shots blocked on the edge of the box. And Milan are still in full voice. My nan is down now though. This is concerning for Milan. So he just goes down off the ball there. Unhappy as well that he has gone down. And they're communicating something to the subs bench. I did wonder initially whether this was a tactical thing from Milan, just to get a break before the last 10 minutes and then go for the game full throttle. And they may well be doing that, but it doesn't look like it is a tactical thing. Mainan is done by the looks of it. The other goalkeeper's getting warm, readying himself to come on, and it will be a change of goalkeeper here. So I believe that's Marco Sportiello. Never an ideal situation, this. 10 minutes remaining. Mike Mainan down on the ground. And it looks like a change in goalkeeper will be needed. I do love the doctors as well. The fact they all wear a suit. And I think, yeah, this is the end of Mainan's evening. As he walks towards the subs bench. So, Marco Sportiello coming on. Being told to wait for Mainan to leave the field. But yeah, I mean, this is, again, not ideal. Your nan's decided it's time for a cup of tea. Yeah. To be fair, I think my nan would have given up a long time ago. Yeah, fair play on Mike Mainan making 80 minutes. Newcastle score and steal the match. Yeah. Sport Yellow Howler as well. That would just be horrible, but so written. So jammy. Anyway, Newcastle now with a goal kick. Probably, wow, hoping that his team can come forward because he's been under the cosh a lot tonight. He's had a lot to do. Need to test this new keeper, shoot on sight, yeah. I mean, Sport Yellow is a good goalie. Let's not get that muddled. But, yeah, I mean, Newcastle haven't had a shot on target tonight. They didn't even test Mainan. No wonder he's injured. He's probably got cramp. He just stood there. Probably set himself off out of pure boredom. He's like, I don't need to finish this game. They're not had a shot on target. I've not had to save anything. Hernandez. Leao. Plays inside. Krunic tries to find Reinders, but it hasn't quite come off. And now they're coming forwards. Newcastle, and hacked down is Bruno Guimaraes. He's died, unfortunately. Either that or he just needed to lie down on the floor with his arms and legs out. Just in time to watch Coronation Street, says Nick Nack. Oh, Yunnan, yeah. Probably more exciting than this. Oh, this has been quite a good game though, Gary. I know it's been a 0-0 and that's never the most thrilling, but yeah, it's still been a bit of a decent little game, isn't it? But yeah. Newcastle now with a free kick. It's a deep one, so you don't expect much from it. Lifting the ball into the box. Dan Burn heads it towards goal, but it's not on target. He's furious about something, Dan Burn. But whatever it is, it's not winning a free kick. So Tonali perhaps feeling some pain in his ankle because he's now got what looks like an ice pack strapped to it. Maybe some other thing that I'm not aware of, but it looks like an ice pack, which is never a great sign. Now here comes Pulisic. Musa. Looking to cross the ball in. Does so, but nobody can get to his service. Florenzi. Header forward. Giroud then beats Botman beats Longstaff in the air and it's pulled back for a head injury. Feels a bit soft, but alas. And yeah. Giroud's shaking his head there. But yeah, Longstaff went down holding his head. It had to be given by the referee. Despite Giroud's complaints. My nan needs a hot bath and an early night. It says Kevin. I think I need a hot bath and an early night after this. AC Milan win the ball out of the pitch. I don't think Leao's getting to that though. Reinders won the ball back, but tackled it and it's gone off field. And a mug of Horlicks. What is Horlicks? Doesn't sound good rolling off the tongue either. Anderson. Now Isak being jostled with by Florenzi. Now tries to pass it back, but it's won back by Pulisic. And he's won a corner, I think. No, he hasn't. He's furious about it. Absolutely furious. Right, cool. Maybe. It's one of those for who knows, really. Who does know? Not me. Isak tries to turn. It's hit the manager. Pioli. Pulisic. Florenzi. Now it's with Thiaw. It's kind of like Ovaltine or Milo, if you've ever heard of those. I've not. Sorry, Gary. I'm going to Google it. Some hot milk drink. Okay. Thank you, Nick Nack. I'm going to have a look at some Horlicks. Do I need to go to private browsing for that? TR switches the play. Oh, yeah, I see it. It's just a powdery drink thing, isn't it? Ah, great. But yeah. Thank you for educating me on Horlicks. Anyway. Ball inside for Milan from Hernandez. Leao loses out though. Still fighting for possession is Milan. Now Krunic. Can he make something happen? Krunic lays it inside. Musa. Now it's with Reinders. Florenzi. Ball in. Now claimed by Pope. Five minutes to go here. I imagine there will also be a couple of minutes out of time. Obviously, we had a slight stoppage for my nan. And then obviously all the substitutions. So probably going to have about an hour But, yeah. Wilson holds the ball up. Guimaraes tries to slot for Elliot Anderson, but he overhits it. Definitely looks like a 4-2-3-1 now with Anderson playing as an attack midfielder. Now it looks more like a 4-3-3. As Bruno Guimaraes pushes forward and he drops back. And it just seems to be rotating around who pushes forward. Anyway, Milan coming forwards. Florenzi. Is there still time for a goal? Pulisic, Leao, still alive. Pulisic blocked. Isak. Counter is on for Newcastle. Alex Isak. It's Messi. Loses it. Back to Milan now. Ball in. Can't get ahead to it. Burn heads it away. This game's been fantastic to watch. But Milan, you've got to think they'll be ruining all these missed chances, especially if they go on to not progress from the Champions League group stage. Because they've been much the better side tonight and they've come away with absolutely, 1 point, but not a lot. They could have come away with 3. But yeah, I'm sure we'll be watching, by the way, a lot of this group in the on the channel. I mean, it's always going to be a good game for Newcastle, really, isn't it? PSG and Dortmund, and obviously Milan again. So I think we'll be watching them every other week with the Champions League. But yeah, here is Pulisic looking to drive inside. Goes to Giroud, turns it out to Musa, and now it's Tior. Krunic. One back by Anderson, and they've got stuck in there. And Anderson is down. But Newcastle coming forward. Almiron shifts it out wide. Longstaff, can he get there? He does. Tomori, though, shuffling him in wide. Tries to get the ball in. It comes off Tomori and goes to Sportiello. And now Milan will look to counter quickly. Giroud skips past Bruno Guimaraes. They're coming forward here, Milan. Giroud, and it's a big claim by Pope. A powerful shot. Pope held it well. Why did AC Milan goalkeeper get hurt for? He never did anything, lol. Yeah, I imagine it's a pre-existing injury, Chelsea fan, that is causing him some trouble. So after he kicked the ball, he seemed to feel his knee or his shin or something like that. Newcastle defended well when it mattered, to be fair. Yeah. Florenzi. Tomori's had a great game. Tomori's a great player. Baffles me why nobody spent 100 million on him. No. I feel like, though, for 50 million, you probably get him off AC, and he's one of the most exciting defenders in the world. He's an obvious signing for me, for any sides in the Premier League. I mean, it's stupid for Chelsea to ever let him go in the first place, but yeah. Anyway. Milan there brought down by Wilson. I think it was Krunic. And now Milan free kick. Now coming forwards is Tomori. Krunic. Has options here. Goes out wide. Florenzi. Could lift it forwards from deep. Instead, they keep playing. This is beautiful football from Milan. Pulisic in the opposition box. Just takes too long about it. But they have now got a throw. Still alive. Well, still a chance if Milan to win this. Doesn't look like there's any chance of Newcastle winning it, though. Florenzi. And there is a substitution in order. It will be someone for Newcastle. It's Harvey Barnes. Oh, Harvey Barnes. Could it be an equaliser? Well, not an equaliser, a winner. So Isak coming off. Harvey Barnes coming on, hoping for a spark in the late stage of this game, then Newcastle. And we wait to see how much additional time will be added. It will be... we don't know. Find out in a minute. Oh yeah. We are now beyond the 90. Maybe there'll be no added time. Maybe we're just going to see this ball in. Maybe the ref's completely forgotten how timekeeping works. Giroud trying to get the flick on. And that's another corner. It's going to be a corner now. Throw, didn't really come to anything. Why didn't they bring on Barnes earlier? Bizarre. Yeah, 5 additional minutes. So not too long, but enough time for someone to find a goal. Set to 6. You hate to see it. All right. There we go. 5 additional minutes. Corner put in. And it hasn't fallen to anyone. Harvey Barnes couldn't really deal with it though, so it's still kept alive for Milan. Reinders. Now it's with Florenzi. Plays it into Musa. Reinders. Can he make something happen? Tiane Reinders could have a shot. Does have a shot. Shouldn't have had a shot. Just over the bar though. Now it will be a goal kick for Newcastle. That's a minute of the 5 allotted wasted. Newcastle have got to feel like they committed robbery here because they've been fairly abysmal. Milan have been dominant. They just haven't finished their chances. And ultimately, that's going to result in them losing, well, drawing 0-0. Don't know why I keep saying losing. Benjamin Šeško's just scored off the bench for RB Leipzig. And yeah, he's literally just come on for Louis Openda and scored. Fair enough. So it's a 3-1 win for Leipzig. They should be fine now. And well, you'd imagine as long as they avoid any scare in the second leg against Young Boys, well, the second game against Young Boys or against Crvena Zvezda, they should be fine to get through. Lovely group for Leipzig, by the way, and for City. 2 of the luckiest clubs in world football. And 2 of the most hated, I would say, by neutrals. Benjamin Šeško, obviously with that goal, no one credited with an assist yet. Oh yeah, Benjamin Heinrichs, come on, UCL fantasy points. You love to see it. Pulisic trying to break away here. And he skips past Byrne, but now here comes Musa. And it's won back and kept on well by Trippier. How on earth has he managed that? I'm not quite sure, but he has. Just about. Anyway. Guimaraes, knackered. Musa tries to put the ball in. That'll go to Pope. And he's going to sit on the ground for as long as he possibly can. But yeah. Milan look really good tonight. They need... I don't know what they need. They need to finish their chances. They should have finished their chances. Krunic knocks it back to Sporty Yellow. And Milan now go long again. But it doesn't look like the same player this season as Nick Nack. I'll agree with that. I second that. He's been a bit off the pace, I would say. A little bit slow. Perhaps adjusting to the new role. Obviously, was used as the deepest line midfielder. Now he can rotate a bit more with Tonali in that role. And yeah, I don't know. Just had a bit of a slow start to the campaign. I mean, Newcastle as a whole haven't had a great start. I don't think that... I mean, obviously that's not going to reflect well on Bruno. But I don't think it's just that, though. I think he's also struggled quite a lot, just individually. Yeah, we are getting to that point in the game. It doesn't look like, well, maybe I'll see a goal, so I'll wait and do my player of the match. But yeah, if you want to do a player of the match at home, I've got no Harry to give me one. So if you've got a player of the match, stick it in chat. And yeah, Longstaff should have finished. A great chance for Newcastle. He's blasted it over. And they're still not ready to shot on target. Unbelievable. Yeah, just about thanks for popping in, by the way, mate. Great to see you this evening. And yeah, hopefully you can join us tomorrow. Obviously, Bayern Munich versus Manchester United should be a really exciting game. Join us there from 7:45 for the 8 o'clock kickoff. And yeah, should be a good one. As tonight has been. Hopefully with a few more goals though. Tonight's lack of goals has been a little bit painful. Has to be said. But yeah, not long to go now. It is over, by the way, in the other match. The Leipzig game is finished. And we're a minute, well, not even a minute, we're a couple of seconds away from finishing here, but a Newcastle corner in the meantime. Can they make something happen? Can they find a goal in the last minute of their first Champions League match of the new era? This would be the definition of smash and grab. Trippier preparing to deliver this ball. Can he find a teammate in the box? Ball in. No. Punched away by Sporty Yellow. And that is it? No. I think he's checking something. What was he checking? I don't... Oh, handball. No. Let's see, he's the goalkeeper. He's out of punch it. But yeah. Another corner then. Oh no, there we go. The ref has decided to call the game. It's 0-0. The first Champions League match, the first Champions League stream of the season. We were hyped up for it, and it's ended 0-0. Typical, eh? But a great match nonetheless. Newcastle fought until the end. Oh, sorry, Milan fought until the end. Newcastle held on just about until the end. But yeah, sorry. Didn't really think I had a time there for putting the full time. There we go. Don't know what I've managed to do. I hit the score. I'm all over the place tonight with the graphics, but there we go. Milan 0, Newcastle 0. Milan, they should have won. I don't think there's anything, any other way to put that, really. They should have won. And yeah, quite frankly, quite poor they didn't. A lot of missed chances in that game, particularly Leao. I really tried to backheel it and fell over the ball. Not great. So they're both on a point now, ahead of the game between Dortmund and PSG later this evening. Play the match then. Of course, contribute if you wish in chat. I'm going to go for the Bosnian midfielder Rada Krunic. He fought hard today. He wasn't one of the ones who missed loads of chances. He was one of the ones that was creating a lot. He did really well, fought really hard as he always does. And, well, he's done really well to fill the gap left by Sandro Tonali. So, yeah, man of the match performance, really stunning in my opinion. That is what we'll call it. Thanks for all the kind messages, guys. Thanks for the chat tonight. Thanks for keeping me company while we watch the football. Nick Knack saying, see you tomorrow, people. See you tomorrow, Nick Knack. Gary saying, see you this weekend. See you this weekend, then. Obviously, Arsenal-Tottenham on the Sunday. Should be a good one. That's everything for today, though. I'm going to have to sign off while I finish the stream. So thank you guys very, very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.